So, hello, welcome back. So, for today, we're gonna be discussing a uh, topic in analytic geometry, which is the distance and the midpoint formula applied to problems. So, the distance between 2 points is denoted by the formula d is equal to the square root of the sum of the change of x and y, which can be furtherly it can be d is equal to the square root of the quantity of the square of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 plus the quantity of y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. So if we're looking from the Cartesian coordinate system, say we have a point here. So as you see in the yellow dot, we can label that as x sub 1, y sub 1. And say we also have point there. We can label this as x sub 2 and y sub 2. So yung distance is from this point to that point. Yan yung distance. Yeah. Yan yung distance between 2 points. Now, what about the midpoint? The midpoint is somewhere here at the middle. So the midpoint formula is given by this x sub m, y sub m, which is the sum of the x sub 1 and x sub 2 divided by 2, and the y sub m is the sum of the y sub 1 and the y sub 2 divided by 2. Now, let us consider an example. So this one, find the distance between the points -1, -5, and 7, 4. So we label this one as the x sub 1. This one is straightforward. This one is y sub 1. Yung isa x sub 2, y sub 2. So pinapahanap sa atin yung distance. Therefore, we can apply the formula stated earlier and we substitute these values, and then the distance now is square root of 145 units. Now this example is straightforward, so let's try another one. So yung may midpoint, yung na-apply na ng midpoint formula. So this example, find the distance between the points -2, -5, and the midpoint of the line segment which join the points 1, 5, and 2, 10. So, mas maganda to isolve kung ilalagay natin to sa Cartesian coordinate system. So, the -2 and the -5 is somewhere here. So, let's bring down all the given. -2, -5, as you see in the yellow dot. And then the 1, 5 is somewhere here. That is the 1, 5. And then the 2, 10 is is somewhere there. So that is 2, 10. So I will be joining now the line connecting the 3 dots. So sa problem, ang pinapahanap sa atin is the distance between the points -2, -5, and the midpoint of the line. Ibig sabihin, yung midpoint nung 1, 5, and 2, 10. So hahanapin natin yan kasi ang hinahanap lang natin na distance is from this point, -2, -5, and to the midpoint of the line segment of the 1, 5, and 2, 10. Therefore, we find first the midpoint within 1, 5, and 2, 10. That is this. So the midpoint now is 3 half and 15 over 2. Ngayon, since nahanap natin yung midpoint, makukuha na natin yung distance mula sa -2, -5, and sa midpoint. That is, finding now the distance between -2, -5, and the midpoint. So this is now, the x sub 1 is -2, y sub 1 is -5, x sub 2 is 3 half, and y sub 2 is 15 over 2. So applying now the distance formula, so this one is straightforward. We can just plug in all the givens in the formula. So 3 half minus -2 squared plus 15 minus -5 squared. This is none other than square root of 674 divided by 2, or this is approximately 12.98 units. So I use the sign approximately because dalawang decimal places lang yung kinuha natin. Let's try another problem. So this one, the point -1y and 510 has a midpoint of 2, 6. So find y. Yung -1y and 510 may midpoint siya na 2, 6. So this ibaba natin -1y. So this one is the x sub 1, this one is the y sub 1, and the 510 is the x sub 2 and the y sub 2. And the midpoint is the 2, 6. So babalikan natin yung midpoint formula. This is denoted by this formula, and since yung midpoint natin ay 2, 6, yung y sub m natin ay 6. And then we apply this formula to find the y. So that is y sub m is equal to y sub 1 plus y sub 2 all over 2. Now by basic algebraic manipulation, this will become 2y sub m minus y sub 2 is equal to y sub 1. And substitute natin yung y sub m, y sub 2, and the y sub 1. This now become 2 times 6 minus 10. And then, yung y sub 1 natin ay y as shown here. Therefore, this become 2 times 6 minus 10 is equal to y. And our y now is equal to 2. So that is now the answer. That is now the y. So this is Jules Tutorials. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and click the notification bell. So if you want to request, you can comment down below. Thank you.